Hello and welcome to today's book summary. We're diving into The Anxious Generation, a compelling work by renowned American psychologist Jonathan Haidt. Picture this. Your bright and lovable 10-year-old child gets an unexpected visit from a representative of an advanced space exploration company. The representative is thrilled to inform your child that they've been selected for a Mars colonization program. Soon your child, along with others, will board a spacecraft heading to Mars to help establish a human settlement there. However, your research reveals some serious concerns. How will kids cope with Mars's harsh radiation, thin atmosphere, and low gravity? Will they manage the complex technology needed to survive and keep the settlement running? Can they get along in a confined space without adult supervision and avoid conflicts? Just as you're about to voice your worries, the representative hands you a form stating that your child has already signed a contract. Company policy means your objections are no longer valid. The representative is ready to take your child to a secret training facility to prepare for the mission. It's a chilling thought, right? But Haidt reveals that this scenario is not just fiction, it's actually happening around us. By replacing space company and Mars settlement with consumer electronics manufacturers and internet-connected devices, the situation becomes a reality. Jonathan Haidt, a leading figure in positive psychology, focused on human well-being, doesn't hold back. He argues that today's internet and electronic devices, such as smartphones, tablets, and gaming consoles, are drastically altering how children and teenagers develop. What's more troubling is that due to slow regulations and lack of parental awareness, we're effectively letting these forces take over the development of our children's cognitive and emotional growth. In his 2024 book, Haidt, named one of the world's top thinkers by Prospect magazine in 2013, and author of influential books like The Righteous Mind and The Happiness Hypothesis, addresses a critical global issue. He examines how an overload of internet and electronic devices is leading to a crisis in youth mental and physical development. The effects are severe: declining social and learning skills, stagnation in cognitive abilities, serious health problems, and mental health issues like depression and anxiety, especially among Generation Z, those born after 2000s. Haidt refers to these struggling youths as the anxious generation, which also serves as the book's title. In the following sections, we will explore Haidt's research, including the origins and impacts of this crisis triggered by digital technology. We will also look at the solutions Haidt proposes to tackle this urgent issue. 1. The new generation as digital natives. In his research, Haidt often finds that conversations with parents about their children's digital existence, their constant use of smartphones, social media, and video games, reveal deep concerns. Parents frequently struggle with their children's screen time, finding it hard to limit device use due to the abundance of technology in their homes and their children's clever ways of avoiding oversight. This ongoing battle often leads to strained family relationships, leaving both parents and children feeling increasingly disconnected. Haidt shares the story of a father whose 11-year-old son, James, has mild autism. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when schools moved to online learning, the father bought James a Sony PlayStation to fill his extra time. Initially, video games and internet access seemed to improve James's mood and behavior, as he became absorbed in the popular game Fortnite and made many online friends. However, as James's gaming addiction grew, his parents tried to enforce screen time limits. The withdrawal led to severe anger and aggression, exacerbating James's existing anxiety and depression, and leaving his parents feeling powerless. Haidt's social psychology survey uncovered disturbing trends in the U.S. From 2010 to 2020, severe depression among 12 to 17-year-olds increased by 161% for boys and 145% for girls. This negative trend continued after 2020. Similarly, suicide and self-harm rates among American teenagers have risen sharply since 2010. What's causing this dramatic decline in adolescent mental health during what should be a hopeful stage of life? Haidt began to suspect that smart devices and internet access might be major factors. The timeline is revealing. The rise of smart devices and mobile internet parallels the worsening of adolescent mental health. The Pew Research Center reported that in 2011, 77% of American teens had mobile phones, with smartphones accounting for about 23%. By 2016, just 5 years later, 79% of American teens had switched to smartphones, and even among 8 to 12-year-olds, smartphone ownership had surged to 28%. The release of the iPhone 4 in 2010 was a turning point. As the first Apple smartphone with a front-facing camera, it sparked a social media revolution. The ease of taking selfies and sharing images accelerated the growth of platforms like Instagram. Within a year, Instagram's user base skyrocketed from 10 million to 90 million. Mostly young people eager to gain attention and expand their social networks through visual content. Unlike earlier mobile phones limited to calls and texts, smartphones offer a complete virtual ecosystem. They provide endless opportunities for gaming, social interaction, video watching, and shopping, creating a constant flow of information. This persistent stimulation leads to a heavy reliance on devices, with users dreading even brief disconnection from their screens. For teens, who are particularly sensitive to peer approval, missing out on trending topics or memes can mean social exclusion. In 2015, American teens averaged 7 hours of screen time per day, with 25% trying to stay online all the time. By 2022, this average nearly doubled to 46%. Haidt compares smartphones and internet access to a gateway in children's pockets that transports them to an exciting but risky virtual world. In this realm, friends are online profiles, and understanding comes from algorithm-curated short videos. Disturbingly, interactions with screens often surpass time spent with real friends, family, and pets. While some attribute adolescent anxiety to economic downturns or global issues like wars and climate change, Haidt argues otherwise. He notes that U.S. unemployment has been decreasing since 2010 and suggests that societal challenges often bring communities together, fostering a sense of belonging and achievement, quite different from the current state of adolescent mental health. The global nature of this issue supports Haidt's theory. Similar declines in adolescent mental health are seen across North America, Northern and Western Europe, Australia, and East Asia, all of which have developed economies and high rates of internet and smartphone use. This thorough analysis highlights the significant impact of digital technology on today's youth, underscoring the urgent need to understand and address this global issue. How do the internet and smart devices negatively affect children's mental development? Jonathan Haidt suggests that to fully understand this issue, we need to first grasp the basics of how children's cognitive development works. Human development follows a distinct pattern: rapid growth in the first 2 years of life, a slower pace during childhood, ages 3 to 12, and then another period of acceleration during puberty. Why do humans experience such a long, gradual childhood compared to other species? Haidt attributes this to our evolutionary history. Early humans formed cooperative societies with clear roles and raised children together. The development of language and writing also helped transmit knowledge across generations, allowing for a longer childhood where learning and adaptation could occur. Haidt points out that play and interaction with peers are crucial for children. Through play, children's cognitive abilities and thinking patterns gradually take shape. From a neuroscience perspective, cognition and thinking involve neurons in the brain connecting and exchanging electrical signals. When neurons establish these connections, new memories are formed and new skills are developed. During play, neurons extend their dendrites and connect with new partners, facilitating the exchange of signals. Neuroscience shows that frequent signaling encourages neurons to grow more dendrites. Complex experiences and environments engage more neurons in this activity, leading to better cognitive development. Group play in natural settings is particularly beneficial. It provides rich experiences where children develop physical coordination and enhance skills such as verbal communication, cooperation, empathy, and caretaking through role-playing and dividing tasks. However, the rise of electronic devices and the internet has altered this landscape. Haidt refers to long-term data showing a dramatic drop in the number of American children and adolescents who meet with peers daily, from over 60% in 1991 to around 20% in 2017. According to Haidt, technology has shifted childhood from one filled with real-world interactions to one dominated by virtual online experiences. Some might argue that online interactions offer new opportunities and allow children to make friends across distances and time zones. However, based on his research in social psychology, Haidt offers a different perspective. Firstly, real-world exploration and play give children more freedom, which sparks creativity and curiosity. For example, children might imagine a pile of wood as a pirate ship, or use simple materials like clay or blocks to create something new. In contrast, video games restrict actions to preset rules within a fixed screen. Additionally, these games often offer quick, easy rewards, which stimulate the brain's reward circuits and release dopamine, potentially leading to addiction. Neuroscience studies indicate that electronic games activate fewer brain areas compared to real-world activities. Long-term gamers may experience degeneration in brain regions responsible for complex tasks, such as the prefrontal cortex and insula. These areas are crucial for skills like empathy, language, muscle control, and task coordination, and their deterioration can impair these functions. Secondly, real-world interactions are better at developing children's coordination, including physical, cooperative, and communicative skills. Activities like jumping rope or dancing together foster a sense of community. One experiment found that students who moved to the same music performed better on group tasks later than those who listened to different songs, highlighting the importance of cooperative skills for social success. Virtual communication, however, does not support this development as effectively. Haidt explains that real-world interaction is synchronous, meaning that verbal and nonverbal signals receive immediate feedback. This immediate exchange is crucial for developing social skills and emotional patterns, such as those formed through eye contact and physical touch with caregivers. Children learn to interpret expressions, understand emotions, and respond to others' needs through face-to-face interactions. In contrast, internet communication, which is asynchronous and screen-based, lacks this depth of information. The situation becomes even more concerning as children are exposed to devices and the internet at younger ages. This type of information-poor, delayed feedback communication can cause lasting damage during crucial developmental stages. Haidt and other social psychologists emphasize the importance of the ages 9 to 15, during which the prefrontal cortex, responsible for self-awareness, attention, and emotional control, develops rapidly. This period is critical for forming lifelong behavioral and cognitive patterns, including communication styles, emotional responses, and self-esteem. Excessive reliance on virtual network communication during this time can significantly hinder the development of communication and empathy skills. Finally, electronic devices and the internet can distort children's value systems. Traditionally, communities pass down knowledge, skills, and values through role models such as warriors or skilled craftsmen. In the industrial era, sports stars, entertainers, and successful entrepreneurs became the new icons. In the digital age, influencers have become the primary role models. Unfortunately, many of these influencers gain popularity not through genuine contributions or exceptional skills, but through random viral moments. Haidt refers to this as prestige detached from true excellence, driven by social media's amplification of herd mentality. For example, the Kardashians gained massive followings not for their talents or achievements, but for showcasing their private lives. 2. The dangers of internet addiction for adolescents. While some effects of excessive internet use may take time to appear, Haidt argues that too much screen time can also harm children right away. He explores these immediate dangers in the following sections of his book, drawing on his research. Let's first look at the general harms that affect all children and adolescents, regardless of gender. 1. Social isolation. The significant time children spend on devices and the internet gradually reduces their participation in real-world social activities. While this trend affects all age groups, adolescents are the most impacted. Haidt points to worrying statistics. Between 2003 and 2019, American teens aged 15 to 24 saw their daily time spent socializing offline drop from about 160 minutes to just 40 minutes, a drastic 75% decrease. This decline in face-to-face interaction creates a harmful cycle. Early internet addiction hampers the development of social skills and empathy, leading to increased anxiety and frustration in real-world interactions. Ironically, despite having hundreds or thousands of online friends, today's teens often feel lonelier than adults. 2. Sleep deprivation. Addiction to devices significantly disrupts both the quantity and quality of sleep, especially for adolescents. A 2012 international study found that 24% of people under 24 had trouble falling asleep and slept less due to using their phones before bed. Chronic sleep deprivation leaves young people tired and lacking energy and contributes to long-term mental health issues and cognitive disorders, such as depression and ADHD. 3. Attention fragmentation. Users of electronic devices often fall into multitasking mode, where they watch videos, scroll through social media, and chat simultaneously. For adolescents, whose brains are still developing, this constant switching between digital activities makes it even harder to develop sustained attention, a vital skill for learning and mastering complex tasks. 4. Internet addiction. When people addicted to the internet try to disconnect, they often face intense withdrawal symptoms, including anxiety, irritability, and a deep sense of emptiness. While these general harms are troubling, Haidt delves further into the gender-specific effects of internet and device addiction. For boys, the consequences include a significant decline in psychological resilience, a reduced desire for adventure and exploration. Exposure to violent and pornographic content online can also lead to imitation in the real world, potentially resulting in violent behavior and other illegal activities. Then how about for girls? Haidt offers a surprising perspective. Girls suffer even more from internet addiction. He highlights this issue through a compelling case study. Alexis, an 11-year-old girl, secretly created an Instagram account without her parents' knowledge. To bypass the age requirement, she lied about being 13, the minimum age for Instagram users. Haidt highlights this issue through a compelling case study. Alexis confided in Haidt that her addiction was driven by a desire to fit in with her peers and a fear of missing out. She believed that if she wasn't constantly in the loop, she would be excluded from social circles, which would damage her self-esteem and possibly lead to ridicule from other girls. First, Alexis was excited. She could keep up with her classmates' lives and felt like a minor internet celebrity as her follower count grew. But things soon took a dark turn. Instagram's algorithms analyzed her browsing habits and bombarded her with content related to fitness, dieting, and weight loss. This exposure triggered severe anxiety in Alexis, eventually leading to depression and anorexia, which required hospitalization. She even drew a cartoon of herself as a small girl curled up in a corner with her phone on the floor and her laptop on the bed, surrounded by self-deprecating thoughts like fat, ugly, stupid, and just die. Why did this happen? Haidt suggests that due to their unique thought processes and cognitive patterns, teenage girls are more vulnerable to social media addiction. He cites a 2014 survey in which nearly a third of girls reported spending over 20 hours a week on social media. In contrast, the proportion of heavy social media users among boys was only half that of girls. The reason for this difference is that, compared to boys, girls tend to have stronger empathy skills and place a higher value on communication and social relationships. During adolescence, girls also rely more heavily on peer evaluations and opinions to gauge their own self-worth. Haidt argues that this psychological makeup makes girls especially vulnerable in today's social media-driven world. A British survey on adolescent mental health showed that the likelihood of depression in girls increased with more time spent on social media. Among girls who use social media heavily, about 5 hours a day, the depression rate soared to 40%. According to Haidt's research, girls' vulnerability in this image-centric network era is due to several factors. Girls' heightened emotional sensitivity and adolescent insecurity about self-worth make them more prone to anxiety over their appearance and body image. Combined with prestige bias, this leads many girls to idolize women on social media with seemingly perfect looks, while feeling inadequate about their own appearance. When conflicts arise, girls are more likely to use social relationships as a weapon. Unlike boys, who might resolve conflicts with physical fights, girls may isolate the other person within their social circle or spread rumors to lower their status. Haidt notes that women with outstanding looks or abilities are often targeted by fabricated rumors on social media, typically created by other women. These rumors often involve accusations of plastic surgery, abortions, or discrepancies between online and real-life appearances. Negative emotions spread through social networks, and because girls are more empathetic, they are more likely to be affected by these emotions. Conclusion. We've now covered the key points from the anxious generation. Haidt's narrative has highlighted the dangers of excessive electronic device and internet use among children and adolescents. So, how should we respond to such a widespread and serious problem? There's no need to panic. In the final section, Haidt proposes a series of solutions, emphasizing that this is a systemic issue that requires action from the government, tech companies, schools, and parents. For government and businesses, Haidt suggests that the government should legislate to ensure that companies prioritize the best interests of the child when designing products and services. For example, implementing the highest level of privacy protection for users under 18 and preventing them from changing privacy settings without parental approval. He also recommends raising the minimum age for internet access from 13 to 16. This would protect children, especially those between 9 and 15, a crucial period for cognitive and emotional development, from harmful content and the dangers of social media and online gaming addiction. Effective age verification is another critical measure. Haidt acknowledges the challenge of balancing age verification with privacy protection, but he suggests possible solutions, like requiring a driver's license number for online registration or developing a unique blockchain code for each verified 16-year-old. In addition, Haidt urges governments and parents to encourage children to engage in offline activities by providing dedicated spaces and facilities, such as adventure zones in schools or parks. While some parents may worry about injuries during play, proper safety supervision and training can minimize risks. For schools, in Haidt's plan, schools play a crucial role in preventing internet and device addiction. Most importantly, schools should promote a phone-free environment, at least during class time. A 2024 report from the Norwegian Institute of Public Health found that after implementing smartphone management policies in some pilot secondary schools, there was a significant decrease in student mental health issues and bullying incidents, along with improvements in grades and college admissions. Schools can also take simple but effective measures like creating more sports clubs and interest groups, or offering voluntary psychology courses to help students navigate adolescent challenges. Additionally, schools can collaborate with parents and communities to launch growth projects, where children complete challenging tasks under teacher guidance, such as cooking, laundry, or machine repair. These projects not only teach practical skills but also help children gain real-world achievements, reducing their dependence on the false satisfaction of online interactions and gaming. For parents, as children's closest protectors, mentors, and role models, parents have a crucial role in curbing excessive screen time. Haidt stresses that parents must take firm control of screen devices at home to prevent overexposure. While it may be tempting to use smartphones, game consoles, and tablets as distractions, this approach can actually accelerate internet addiction. Haidt offers practical guidelines for managing screen time. 1. Limit screen time for children aged 2 to 5. Limit viewing to 1 hour per day on weekdays and 3 hours on weekends. For ages 6 to 12, Restrict usage to 2 hours on weekdays, and only in public areas of the home, not in their bedrooms. 2. Lead by example. Parents should model healthy behavior by not watching TV or using electronic devices during family meals and outings, and by engaging in meaningful communication with their children. 3. Set bedtime rules. Remove all electronic devices from children an hour before bedtime. If children show signs of addiction, intervene promptly. If they exceed screen time limits, confiscate the devices as a consequence. Children may react with anger or tears, but parents should calmly explain that these rules are for their well-being. As children grow older, parents should encourage activities like camping or hiking with friends, while still enforcing screen time rules. It's also important for parents to stay informed about safety and privacy settings on various platforms, and to keep up with youth pop culture. Even after children turn 16 and have their own smartphones and social media accounts, maintaining open communication is key, so they feel comfortable discussing their concerns with you. Congratulations! You've digested another book.